A feeble body weakens the mind. Absolute silence leads to sadness. It is the image of death. All of my misfortunes come from having thought too well of my fellows. Although modesty is natural to man, it is not natural to children. Modesty only begins with the knowledge of evil. Childhood is the sleep of reason. He who is most slow in making a promise is the most faithful in performance of it. I have resolved on an enterprise that has no precedent and will have no imitator. I want to set before my fellow human beings a man in every way true to nature, and that man will be myself. Base souls have no faith in great individuals. Do I dare set forth here the most important, the most useful rule of all education? It is not to save time, but to squander it. Every man has the right to risk his own life in order to preserve it. Has it ever been said that a man who throws himself out the window to escape from a fire is guilty of suicide? Falsehood has an infinity of combinations, but truth has only one mode of being. Fame is but the breath of people, and that often unwholesome. Free people, remember this maxim. We may acquire liberty, but it is never recovered if it is once lost. God made me and broke the mold. Gratitude is a duty which ought to be paid, but which none have a right to expect. Heroes are not known by the loftiness of their carriage. The greatest braggarts are generally the merest cowards. How many famous and high-spirited heroes have lived a day too long? However great a man's natural talent may be, the act of writing cannot be learned all at once. I have always said and felt that true enjoyment cannot be described. I may be no better, but at least I am different. Insults are the arguments employed by those who are in the wrong. It is a mania shared by philosophers of all ages to deny what exists and to explain what does not exist. It is too difficult to think nobly when one thinks only of earning a living. It is unnatural for a majority to rule, for a majority can seldom be organized and united for specific action, and a minority can. Man is born free and everywhere he is in chains. Money is the seed of money, and the first guinea is sometimes more difficult to acquire than the second million. Most nations, as well as people, are impossible only in their youth. They become incorrigible as they grow older. Nature never deceives us. It is we who deceive ourselves. No man has any natural authority over his fellow men. O love, if I regret the age when one savors you, it is not for the hour of pleasure, but for the one that follows it. Ordinary readers, forgive my paradoxes. One must make them when one reflects, and whatever you may say, I prefer being a man with paradoxes than a man with prejudices. Our greatest evils flow from ourselves. Our will is always for our own good, but we do not always see what that is. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. People who know little are usually great talkers, while men who know much say little. Plant and your spouse plants with you. Weed and you weed alone. Reading, solitude, idleness, a soft and sedentary life, intercourse with women and young people. These are perilous paths for a young man, and these lead him constantly into danger. Religious persecutors are not believers, they are rascals. Remorse sleeps during prosperity but awakes bitter consciousness during adversity. Take the course opposite to custom and you will almost always do well. The body politic, as well as the human body, begins to die as soon as it is born, and carries itself the causes of its destruction. The English are predisposed to pride, the French to vanity. The first step towards vice is to shroud innocent actions in mystery, and whoever likes to conceal something sooner or later has reason to conceal it. The person who has lived the most is not the one with the most years but the one with the richest experiences. The training of children is a profession, where we must know how to waste time in order to save it. The world of reality has its limits. The world of imagination is boundless. To endure is the first thing that a child ought to learn, and that which he will have the most need to know. Virtue is a state of war, and to live in it we have always to combat with ourselves. We are born weak, we need strength. Helpless, we need aid. Foolish, we need reason. All that we lack at birth, all that we need when we come to man's estate, is the gift of education. We are born, so to speak, twice over. Born into existence, and born into life. Born a human being, and born a man. What wisdom can you find that is greater than kindness? When something in affliction happens to you, you either let it defeat you, or you defeat it. Whoever blushes is already guilty. True innocence is ashamed of nothing. You forget that the fruits belong to all and that the land belongs to no one.